Well, welcome to webinar number 13 for Diamond Club Australia. I'm super happy to be here to talk to you guys again and kind of go over some things that we learned over convention, and we're going to go over the reimbursement information again just so everybody is sure on what needs to be turned in and when it needs to be turned in. Hopefully you've finalized everything for February. You do have a few hours left to be able to enroll anybody that you still want to count for February. Remember, that's up until 6 p.m. Eastern Australia Daylight Time is the last time to enroll anybody for February. Anything after that will start in March. So if you want anything to be in March, it needs to be enrolled after that time as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Here we're going to go over a few different topics. We're going to talk a little bit about February, reevaluating what has happened, and go over kind of a model of how to get your enrollments and how to go about focusing on building your team and doing that in this next month. And then I'll go over the reimbursement information. We'll show the standings of where we're at as of this morning. So we'll go through that today. We're super excited that everybody is doing really well in Diamond Club this year, and we've gotten the most enrollments of any month ever in the past. So you guys are doing super amazing, and keep up the good work. We're going to see a lot more of this in the future months as Diamond Club goes on, as you guys get the hang of it and move forward. So how'd you guys go in February? Like, you want to be able to evaluate yourself and know what you did well. So that's some reflection questions here. What did you do well? You want to celebrate those successes and hold on to them to be able to remember them when you are looking for more momentum in the future, when you feel like you might be getting down on yourself because you're not getting the enrollments that you want. Remember that you do have those successes, and that when the time is right, you will be able to get the enrollments and build your team that you need to. So just keep pushing forward. It's a great work that you guys are doing with doTERRA, inviting others to share this oil and this business and helping them and their families. So you guys are truly doing a great work out there. Then you also want to look at what you can improve on in the next month as you're moving on. So you're going to want to see what things you feel like you should do better, or just tweak and improve a little bit, so that you can have more success in the future. So you're going to want to set some goals, make plans to be able to action steps to complete those goals and follow through to see the fruits of that labor, you know? So you want to look for your upline and sponsors for advice of anything that you feel like you would want to improve on, or just talk to them so that they can give their advice on what they think you should do. Even if you feel like you're doing really well, there's always ways to improve. So little things can be changed and improved on to see even more success. Again, you guys are doing really well, and we want to keep the ball rolling into the future months for Diamond Club. One way that we understand that a lot of people have been able to do this, from stories that we've been told and from how a lot of different wellness advocates during Diamond Club are able to kind of let go of the stresses of Diamond Club and move forward positively, working with their team and getting the enrollments that they need. So it's kind of a model like the product of the month with the loyalty rewards program. Just like you need to place your monthly order to get that free product before the 15th of the month, we want you to do your best and to get the required 18 enrollments, or most of your enrollments, by the 15th of the month. That way you can forget about focusing on those fixed numbers or requirements for the month, and you can focus on your team and having events and building up each other more and your hosts so that you can get those enrollments. By doing this, it's going to help you hold more events, be more relaxed, be more helpful in a way to your hosts and to the rest of your team in order to get the enrollments and to move forward. And by doing this, it's going to provide enrollments for you in the second half of the month, as well as your team sees how you're able to do this through Diamond Club and through the events. You're going to see a lot of success. They're going to see that success as well, and they're going to want to continue to build with you, building their team and building yours, and helping each other. So that's one thing to think about and do your best to strive for, is to get as many enrollments as you can in the beginning of the month so that you can focus on building your team and your hosts throughout the rest of the month and not focusing on necessarily the numbers of Diamond Club. So another thing we want you guys to do is to focus on the future, focus on the communication and information with your team. Like I was stating before, your team is going to help you out a lot. You don't have to do this on your own. You don't have to necessarily be the host for every event. As Diamond Club, you want to build your team and build your stronger legs into leaders and help them as much as you can with the events. But you're more or less just there to offer the incentives and kind of teach them how to be a leader and be a host so that they can eventually be in your footsteps in the following years, doing Diamond Club, building their own team and being a leader in that way. So a lot of people are seeing success only in certain areas of their team. So if you are looking for enrollments at the beginning of the month, you know what, maybe you want to focus on those areas at the beginning of the month so that you can get your enrollments out of the way and then focus on building your team. You don't want to forget about the other areas that aren't having as much success, because obviously they're needing more help and needing more leading and teaching in order to be as successful as other areas. But you want to focus at least on the beginning of the month with those areas that are stronger and more successful for you. You can get in a rhythm and a pattern with your team of hosting events where you are having success, so that you can get the enrollments at the beginning and start building and working with your team towards the end of the month and see how that works for you. And find what you're doing well in those successful areas and try and bring those positive things into the areas that aren't doing so well in order to strengthen them, in order to make it a successful area for you, or a successful leg. Obviously, every leg and every person is different, but you can tend to use the same things with different people in order to see that success and growth and change for the better. So we're going to go on and go ahead with the reimbursement details now. Just to go over it again so everyone is familiar with them. These reimbursement details show what forms need to be turned in, what receipts, when they need to be turned in. The simpler, the better, so that everyone is on the same page and that we have the information and we can get the reimbursements taken care of quickly and easily. So you want to submit the Diamond Club requests financial reimbursement form. This is going to be filled out with the kilometers that you went on your trips, your airfare for any flights that you took to your out-of-area locations. You're going to want to list these on the form, and I'm going to show you the form here in a second. You're also going to want to attach any of the receipts that you have for your petrol or your airfare to this form, or scan it in along with this form so that I can match them up basically to the correct event and get those reimbursements submitted. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that reimbursement form. We'll just go over it. So the first section is the trip date. Pretty simple. You put down the date for that specific trip that you went on. The location of the trip. I've specifically put an out-of-area member ID number just to clarify that you do need a member in an out-of-area location to travel there, and that helps me know that you do have that person there and who it is. And obviously it's the airfare amount you're going to fill in according to that trip, or the kilometers that you drove to that trip. And you're going to have obviously 22 cents per kilometer that you drove as reimbursement. You're going to total up in the totals column. On the bottom, it's your signature and the date to authorize it, and then all the banking information. We do need all the banking information if you want to be reimbursed, because that's the information that we need specifically for you to be reimbursed. If we don't have this, it'll be a lot of back and forth for both of us, and it might be delayed in getting your reimbursement out. So please fill out all the information as much as possible. The other form is the monthly event tracking form. This one's a bit more simple or easy, I guess, to fill out, because you don't really have to do any math or anything like that. So if you've already written it down and have been pretty organized, it's going to be easy as well. So you're going to have the locations, whether they were out of area or local events. I want you to specify those. Just makes it easier for reimbursements and for me to track your 3 local and 3 out of area events that you had as requirements. And then I've emailed all these out to you, these forms, in a Excel sheet. So if you haven't received that email, it's also located on our Facebook page. I posted it earlier today and sent it out on the email the other day. So you should have it. If you don't, contact me. I can give it to you. Or the other forms are also listed on the website if you want to use those. Print them off and write with your hand. Either way. So here's what that form looks like. Basically, your name, the month, your ID number, and then the events that you had, the date, the location, the out-of-area member, if applicable to your out-of-area events, the city that it was in, the state that it was in, the expected attendees, actual attendees, and then the actual enrollments that you received from that event. So pretty simple. Fill out as much as you can. You should have all this information since it is pretty simple. Here's another reminder. Please submit your forms as soon as possible, starting today. That way I can get it organized and get it set up and get those reimbursements back out to you as soon as possible before we're on the 14th or 15th of this month. Because it does take time for me to organize all this information and put it into the spreadsheets for our finance department to take a look at. So start submitting them today if at all possible. Just a reminder, the 5th will be the last day to turn those in. Anything received after the 5th, it won't be reimbursed until a later date. So just have that in mind. Just double check all the forms that you have them and that you send them in all in one email, just so it can be more organized that way. Let's go ahead and look at the standings as of this morning. So congratulations to those that are in the top 20. You guys are doing great. It's really amazing how many enrollments you guys are getting in and the amount that you're doing it. So it's really amazing. So congratulations, you guys are doing amazing. So I just want to name you off just because you guys are so amazing. We have Keysane Appleby, John Croft, Michelle Gay, Tanya Saeda, Margarita Humphreys, Penny Hardy, Lynn Guerin, Renee and Byron Twilley, Gavin Nooney, Kristen Thrush, Michelle and Godfrey Tyndall, Nicholas Fairbairn, Aaron Blott, June Gottschling, Sam Bunker, Colleen Scott, Polly Delaney, Shannon Morgan, Pip Hughes, Del Trembla. You guys are really doing a great job and setting the example for everybody else. If you have tips and if you have things that are going well for you, if you want to share those on your Facebook pages, on the Diamond Club Facebook page, to kind of share those successes that you're having and some things that are working for you to have the success that you're having, please share those so that other people can learn from you and learn from the positive things that you're sending out and receiving back in the world. Really, you guys are doing great. So keep up the good work. We'll see what happens in this next month. There are quite a few names that have been changing on the top 20 list. So if you want to get in there, it's not hard, but it's not that easy either. You guys are doing great work, so keep it up. And obviously there's the resources to contact me by the email, my phone number, and then the website. It looks like it's a little down today. The portal is still working, so I've set that link on the Facebook page so that you can still access it and get those enrollments in. And I should be sending out an email shortly with that link as well. If you have any questions, go ahead and contact me. So